Now at 9, Carl Junction residents learn how local agencies respond to severe weather. Details from tonight's town hall meeting.
Volunteers in Barry County come together after the storm to make sure a summer camp is able to be up and running for the campers who need it. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
And severe flooding in Pittsburg caught many off guard, including first responders. Melissa Alexis shows us how crews handled dozens of calls in just one morning.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Carl Junction hosts a severe weather town hall with a focus on preparing for the next weather event. This is KOAM News at 9. I'm Tanya Bach. Tonight's meeting at the CJ Community Center on North Main Street. The event featured presentations from city officials, police, fire, and a National Weather Service trained spotter. Carl Junction isn't a stranger to severe weather. On Easter Sunday, an EF1 tornado tore through Jasper County, uprooting trees and damaging homes. Organizers aim to educate the public on emergency response protocols before and after severe weather events.
We have information at our fingertips, and I feel that now it is actually harder to communicate with people than it ever has been, because not everybody watches the same news, not everybody reads the same newspaper, not everybody subscribes to the same, social media. It's one of those things is that the only thing you can do is try and be able to get as much good information out and hope that people are able to listen and heed warnings.
The meeting streamed live on the CJ Community Center and Carl Junction Connection Facebook pages. Well, as more rain comes, authorities want 4-staters to be mindful of the potential for more dangerous conditions. Authorities stress a familiar warning: turn around, don't drown. As KOAM's Melissa Alexis explains, first responders have already have their hands full.
Caught off guard. We knew that we were supposed to have pretty good rain.
Taylor Cherney, the fire chief at the Pittsburg Fire Department, says yesterday's rain seemed to come on suddenly.
Didn't realize that it was going to be exactly what it was and come as fast as it did with as much rain as it was.
He says the rain started early Tuesday morning on his commute to work.
It was just torrential rain with standing water on streets that we hadn't seen standing water for a long time.
The Pittsburg Police Department responded to 22 calls, and the Crawford County Sheriff's Office assisted with another 11 calls.
The biggest call volume yesterday was stalled out cars that had got caught in flash floods or had driven into deep water, possibly not realizing that it was as deep as it was.
Some other calls that Pittsburg and Crawford County emergency response crews responded to include disabled or stranded vehicles in the floodwaters, accidents, a tree falling on a house, and animal welfare checks.
With all the water in the streets and just the heavy rain, the winds actually played a big part, and we did have a large elm tree that came down, spanned between a couple houses, pulled down some power lines.
And something the fire chief wants to remind the public of to promote safety.
Be aware, if you're leaving for work, leave a little bit early in case you have to detour. You don't want to drive through the deep water, you don't want to drive through flowing water. Turn around and find another route. And as always, be on the lookout for emergency vehicles.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Pittsburg and Crawford County emergency response crews received more than 30 calls between 7:30 and 10 a.m. yesterday. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Yeah, April has been a very wet month for us, one of the wettest on record. Most of us have picked up, on average, like 10 inches this month. Some areas a lot more than that. This is just over the past 24 hours, upwards to about 4 inches of rain across the region. We still have flash flood watch in effect in Missouri, Arkansas, sliver of Kansas until the morning hours. These brighter greens are showing us flash flood warnings, of course, long streams, but all the rain, it's out of here. For now, we may get a few scattered showers and a few scattered thunderstorms try to work in late tonight into tomorrow morning. Not a big deal. Really, most of Thursday is going to be dry. We may get a spotty, isolated shower late in the day, but here comes rain again as we go into late Thursday night and Friday morning. Then we get a chance to dry out. We'll talk more about this here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, communities around Barry County, Missouri saw extensive damage from Tuesday's storms, from downed power lines to uprooted trees. Camp Barnabas, a summer camp for those with disabilities, is no different. And as KOAM Samantha Walker reports, dozens of volunteers are here to help.
Tuesday morning storms did not leave Camp Barnabas alone. The site, which offers a summer camp experience for those with disabilities and chronic illnesses, saw significant damage, with poles and limbs pulled down to entire trees smashing into cabins.
Damage structurally to 3 cabins. I think we last counted about 37 large trees down all over our property.
And with staff and an estimated 1,500 campers expected in a matter of weeks, the camp's team knew they needed help.
As soon as I walked the property and saw the magnitude of the damage, and I know what we have to get done in a short time frame, I knew we needed help, and we needed to ask for help. And so we immediately went into kind of crisis management mode and got the message out to help that we need help.
And help is exactly what's scattered across the storm-damaged camp. Professionals and community members prepared with whatever tools they have.
They showed up not knowing really what they were getting into with the chainsaw in hand.
Spirit Tree Care brought a team of workers to spend a long day helping remove large trees. Storm damage recovery is something the company knows well after severe weather hit their home in northwest Arkansas last year.
So we knew that it requires a lot. It requires a lot of skill, a lot of safety, a lot of just understanding trees and wood when it's under stress and things like that. And so we knew we had a special skill set to be able to come and help get these trees off the cabins or get them out of sticky situations.
Camp staff say they've had roughly 100 volunteers in the first day of cleanup alone, and there's enough work for all of them.
There's a multitude of things happening right now. We have tree removal, and then we will navigate into cabin repair in a short time frame.
She says thanks to the help of these volunteers, the camp will be up and running in no time.
I have no questions about it. I know they'll be ready to go. So campers are going to have a great summer. I know it.
Reporting in Barry County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Well, if you're interested in volunteering or helping donate to the recovery efforts, we have information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, coming up, it's National Stop Food Waste Day. Every year, Americans throw out billions of dollars in perfectly good food. We look at ways to reduce some of that waste. And later, lawmakers jump on board as the president revives our country's nuclear power industry. Americans throw out billions of dollars worth of perfectly good food each year. Since 2017, Stop Food Waste Day has aimed to educate people and ignite changes that can keep food waste out of landfills and put more in your belly. Fox's Anna Yiolopoulos has more on how to extend your food's shelf life and waste less.
Uneaten food tossed from the refrigerator, produce too ugly to sell, and meals out not completely consumed, all contributing to the astonishing 120 billion pounds of food that's discarded by Americans each year.
At every point throughout the day, we are throwing out food. So, and when you make your breakfast in the morning, maybe you don't finish a little piece of the eggs that's left in there. If you're a retailer, that volume is so much higher.
To help alleviate some of that food waste, Too Good To Go allows people to save surplus meals that would otherwise be headed for the landfill. Available in 33 cities across the country, the app already saving 426 million meals from going in the trash.
On top of it, if you think about just the money you're throwing out by throwing away good food,
20% of food waste comes from consumers misunderstanding date labels.
So when you see best before, use by, consume by, purchase by, they're all different. What that does is contribute to a lot of confusion. It's because we see that date and we think, oh, I cannot eat it past this date, it's going to make me sick. And that's just simply not true.
The average American family throws out more than $1,800 in food annually. That number can be reduced by implementing some new habits, including keeping a grocery list, checking what you have in your pantry and fridge before you go to the grocery, and using your senses. Look, smell, and taste before you waste.
If it's reached its best before date, or it's use by date, or it's sell by date, and you start to realize, oh, it actually doesn't smell bad, it doesn't look bad, it doesn't taste bad, you'll start to then see there are some items that I definitely have been throwing out prematurely.
It's not just wasting money. Throwing out excess food can lead to increased greenhouse gas emissions. In New York, Anna Yiolopoulos, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, 10 McDonald County seniors are taking a different kind of next step, committing to serve in the military after graduation.
Well, of course, we had more showers, thunderstorms last night, a very loud night, and then more thunderstorms once again for us today, but we aren't seeing the severe weather, which is good. All that has been to our south, now to our south and to our east, so we are in the clear of severe weather for the overnight hours. You can see showers and thunderstorms racing away from us, so we are mainly dry. We may get a few showers in here later on tonight. You can see a little wave. So a few thunderstorms could develop near Wichita and then kind of fall apart as they work in, but you may wake up to a few isolated thunderstorms. Rain chances overall fairly low. A couple little isolated guys tomorrow afternoon, and then a few showers once again for us tomorrow night. Let's go through time. We're going to stop this here. It's about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Random isolated shower, most of us dry. You can see this batch working in here, 6:30 in the morning, falling apart, but again, you may wake up to an isolated shower or two, but most of the day looks pretty good. Near 70, partly sunny by the noon hour. As we go into the afternoon, I think most of us 75, 76 degrees and a chance to dry out, which we need. As we get into late Thursday night and Friday morning, a batch of showers and a few thunderstorms work in, scattered, especially along and south of I-44. So we'll start the day on Friday. Here's 8:30 in the morning. Scattered thunderstorms. These will push out, and then most of the day looks pretty good. I do think we'll get a couple isolated thunderstorms late Friday into Friday evening as the main upper level low starts to press on by. But then we get a nice stretch that we get to dry out as we go into the weekend, also early next week. So the heaviest rain is done, but with a few isolated little showers and a batch of rain tomorrow night, yeah, another 1/10, quarter of an inch, half an inch max we could see across the region. But look at the rain stats. Today over an inch. For the month, almost 10 inches. Of course, we're wrapping up the month of April going into May, so we actually have a surplus of rainfall or above average by almost 2 inches. Looks good. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tarracam. We're looking downtown Joplin. The winds picked up. This is what we call a wind dump or a wake low. It's an area of low pressure that develops behind those storms. Air compresses, winds go up. That's why they've been a little bit higher throughout the afternoon into the evening hours. Those will come down as we go through tonight. 69 by noon, high temp, 76 on your Thursday. So overall is looking pretty good. All right, so here's our storm system now. So this wave, it's tilted back toward the north and to the west. We call that a negative tilt, and that's why it has produced or helped to produce severe weather over the past couple days. Here's this back wave that affects us late tomorrow night and then heading into Friday. And then check this out. As we get into the weekend, big dome of high pressure sits on us, and that gives us great weather as we go into the weekend. Let's go 76 on your Thursday, 70 on Friday, 68 Saturday, 72 on Sunday, but looks fantastic. Thunderstorm chances return late next week.
All right, but a really nice weekend once you get past those AM storms.
Yeah, looks pretty good.
We'll take it. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, some standout students at McDonald County High School signed to take their skills to the next level today, but not for sports. The school held a ceremony honoring 10 seniors who will move on in the field of military service following graduation. The students and staff members joined family members and military representatives as the seniors signed their official commitments to serve in either the Marine Corps or the Missouri National Guard.
I'll be starstruck. Everything's going to be like a whole new world for me, you know. Growing up a lot, like I just look at the people that are my models in my life. I just can't believe I get to be one of them, you know. Yeah, I hope someone looks at me as their model, but I just can't believe I'm be there.
Members of the public also attended today's ceremony. Well, coming up, the more you know. Liberty Utilities prepares to hold public town hall meetings as a state investigation into billing practices moves forward. Liberty Utilities moves closer to hosting town hall meetings for customers in Missouri. The announcement comes after the Missouri Public Service Commission voted 5-0 to launch an investigation into customer services and billing practices of Liberty Utilities. The investigation covers all Liberty utility companies operating in Missouri. While the energy provider continues to iron out the details Upcoming plans will include a series of town hall meetings open to the public. As of now, these meetings will tentatively take place from June 9th through the 13th. Liberty plans to announce the dates, times, and location once they've been finalized. After years of sitting on the sidelines, President Trump is reviving the nuclear power industry, and lawmakers across the nation are jumping on board. But only 2 U.S. companies have federal permits to build small modular reactors. Fox Business correspondent Jeff Flock is in Texas at the headquarters of one of those companies.
Maybe you can hear the echo of my voice in this chamber 2.5 stories under the ground. This is where the latest technology in nuclear electricity generation is about to take place. We are on the campus of Abilene Christian University in Texas, and you've heard a lot maybe about small modular nuclear reactors. Well, here's the man who's putting his money where some people's mouths are. You are a guy, Doug Robinson, who has spent a career in oil and gas, but you now think nuclear is the future.
Absolutely. We need sustainable, dispatchable power that is safe, clean, efficient, and as I said, dispatchable to where you need it. Advanced nuclear brings us that.
We talk about nuclear. When I was a kid, people protested against nuclear power because they were afraid of the nuclear waste and nuclear disaster. Right. You say this is safer than any of those big plants in the past.
It's a Generation 4 technology. It's molten salt cooled. So we don't use water as a coolant. What that means is we operate at high temperatures but very low pressures. And so it's called walk-away safe. And we're liquid fueled, which means we do not generate unspent nuclear fuel. We burn all of the nuclear fuel in our reactors.
So there's none of that waste that we had before.
That's right. Yeah. In fact, we can actually utilize existing nuclear waste as fuel for these reactors.
I leave you now with some pictures of the build out of this facility. Doug, you are only one of 2 companies that has a permit from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to actually build one of these small reactors, correct?
That's right. We got our permit in September of last year, our construction permit, and we're standing in the only advanced reactor facility in the nation.
And this has come together fairly quickly, but you say we need to do that because we're behind Russia and China in terms of development of small nuclear.
That's right. The DOE asked us to build this reactor in 2019 to beat China and Russia, and the U.S. is falling further behind.
Voracious appetite in the U.S. now for electric power, AI, data centers, cryptocurrency mining. You got to have all of the above, and that seems to be the current administration's plan, all of the above when it comes to energy. I'm Jeff Flock with the Fox Business Network.
And we're looking at you from above. Well, up next, preschoolers in Joplin put their excellent engineering skills to the test to see which designs survive the Great Fall. We all know eggs are precious these days, but how far would you go to keep one from cracking? Students at St. Mary's Preschool in Joplin put their eggs to the test this morning during the annual Humpty Dumpty Day. Each student designed their own egg protection plan, from parachutes and padding to colorful contraptions, all in hopes of preventing a great fall. The Joplin Fire Department helped out by raising the eggs high into the air with their fire engine ladder and dropping them to the ground below.
I hope that it offers them an opportunity to really problem solve, trying to get their egg to last through a big drop like this, but also the opportunity to partner with their parents and coming up with a really neat and cool project, but also a really great memory too.
Well, some eggs survived, others a little scrambled, but students walked away with a little hands-on fun in science, creativity, and problem solving. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Lauren Ashley's Law is headed to the governor's desk. How this could change felony offenses in the Sooner State. And power outages in Springfield, Missouri force a local cafe to give away and throw out $5,500 worth of food.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Lauren Ashley's Law passes the Oklahoma Senate and is now headed to Governor Kevin Stitt's desk. The proposed law adds accessory to murder in the first degree and accessory to murder in the second degree to the list of felony offenses for which Oklahoma already requires convicted criminals to serve at least 85% of their sentence. The law is named after two girls, Laura Bible and Ashley Freeman, who went missing in December of 1999. Ashley's parents were found murdered in their burned home. Now, their disappearance launched a decades-long investigation, leaving family, friends, and an entire community desperate for answers. The primary suspect, Ronnie Busick, eventually agreed to a plea deal in 2020, pleading guilty to accessory to murder, kidnapping, and arson. As part of the agreement, he was required to provide information that could lead to the discovery of Laura and Ashley's remains. However, Busick's cooperation was limited and no new leads emerged. In 2023, Busick was released early from prison due to good behavior. With the governor's signature, Laura and Ashley's law would strengthen sentencing requirements, ensuring those who aid in such heinous crimes face stricter consequences. In Springfield, Tuesday's storms led to power outages not seen since the 2007 ice storm. When the power is out, daily conveniences like cooking are interrupted. Adam Woodbray shows us how one community is getting a hot meal and the setbacks a local restaurant is facing.
It's hot out here, isn't it?
The staff at York Elementary in Springfield stepped up to help its community. With power out for the second day for the neighborhoods around the school, cooking food is not an option. So with no school in session, the school staff wanted to do something to help.
Our staff got together on a message chat and decided that we wanted to come together with some of our community partners and find a way to help out our school community, because we do have a lot of families in our area that still do not have electricity.
It wasn't long before the staff members bought snacks, water, hot dogs, and had the grills fired up.
It's a good thing because I do have 4 kids, and when you don't have no way to cook or there's nowhere open, and you don't have a vehicle to go further away, it's really heartwarming to know that I guess they care.
People in the community say they're grateful.
Because we can't cook anything, so it was nice to have something warm. Just wanted to say thanks to everybody that was here to help us out. It was really nice.
And just a few miles away in downtown Springfield, Gailey's Breakfast Cafe was able to reopen, but not before having to deal with food that sat in the restaurant during the power outage.
We have to get rid of it. I can't sell it at that point. I can't, I can't give it to customers once it hits a certain temp.
Nicole Edwards owns Gailey's. She says the power went out around 9:45 Tuesday morning and wasn't restored until late Tuesday night.
When we started seeing our coolers and everything start losing temp, which was last night, that's when we knew we had to start doing something. We had to either take the food somewhere else, give it away, or pitch it.
Edwards says the staff gave out food to people they knew, trying to use the food while it was still good. But even still, there's a lot of food that's just going to waste.
Our biggest loss is going to be our eggs, which everybody knows right now, eggs are outrageous. I had to pitch 22 cases of eggs. Each one of my cases holds 15 dozen eggs.
And for a restaurant where breakfast is a big deal, turning eager customers away is a tough pill to swallow.
This is what we bank on. And us being closed for almost 2 full days. I'm paying for labor, I'm paying for food that never got used. We're going to take a pretty hard hit.
Well, Gailey's was able to arrange to get more food brought in for the restaurant, but Edwards estimates she lost around $5,500 worth of food. Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later a buzzing business.
Local tree shop says they have been really busy following the storms. I'm Lonnie Walton in Joplin. I'll have that story coming up.
Well, of course, more showers and thunderstorms for us today. We really didn't have to deal with severe weather, which is great. All the severe weather stayed just to our south, and you can see the ongoing thunderstorm watches and tornado watches off to our south and to our east. We get a break, which is good to see. So any thunderstorms we had earlier rolling east very quickly, heading away from us. So we look pretty good. as we go through the rest of the night. Look at this band of thunderstorms southeastern Missouri all the way down into eastern parts of Arkansas. We do have another wave out toward the west, and that wave will start to affect us a bit as we go, especially Thursday night and then into Friday morning. So rain chances, they spike a little bit tomorrow afternoon and then back up a little bit again tomorrow night. Let me take you through time for us tonight, maybe a random isolated shower. Most of you will stay dry. Let's go into the morning hours. We're going to stop at 6:30 in the morning. A lot of clouds, isolated shower or two. Whatever does develop will be gone. Partly sunny skies near 70 by the noon hour. And let's go into the afternoon. Here's about 5:30, I think high temps right around 75. But again, mainly dry. We get some sunshine. It helps kind of dry everything out. Tomorrow night, though, we get another band of showers, even some thunderstorms after 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So here's 5:30 in the morning. These look to be non-severe, but could be a little bit loud after midnight on Thursday night. So we start Friday with a few scattered thunderstorms, then these will push out. As we get into Friday afternoon, I wouldn't be surprised if a few isolated little thunderstorms try to develop. So rainfall from this point on, after a very heavy amounts for the month of April, overall pretty light. Maybe a quarter, maybe a half an inch in spots with the batch of showers and thunderstorms that we see tomorrow night. But look at this, today over an inch for the month, almost 10 inches of rain. Looks good right now. A great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex looking at downtown. The winds have calmed down. They really picked up for a little bit this afternoon in response to the back end of these thunderstorms. Now, the winds are pretty calm. May get a little bit of patchy fog out there late tonight, 69 by noon, high temp 76 degrees. All right, let's go down the road just a bit so we get rid of all this mess we've been dealing with over the past, several days. High pressure for the weekend into early next week. That gives us good weather. Then it gets tricky. Look at this. If this area of low pressure can strengthen enough, it keeps our next severe weather maker just far enough toward the west that we get to stay with nice weather. If this actually happens, we may go almost 2 weeks without a severe weather threat. If that doesn't really strengthen, then we got severe weather back in here late next week. So a lot to watch over the next several days. 76 on Thursday. Let's go 70 on Friday. Weekend looks great. 60s, 70s, and we get to dry out.
Nice. It'll be nice to be able to dry out. We'll need it.
We need it for sure.
And then we'll have to be watering things.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, it was another day of hard work to prep for upcoming fun in Pittsburgh. Pitt State recreation students are putting the wrap on projects at the Lincoln Center, preparing for OK Kids Day on Saturday, and they've made birdhouses and much more over the last few months.
We spend all semester long on OK Kids Day. They design the shirts, they plan the activities. We see them about every 2 weeks, and then also within this class, their instructor goes out to the schools and they work with the kids in the schools.
OK Kids Day is this Saturday at Lakeside Park with several activities starting bright and early. It is free for all ages. You can find more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Coming up in sports, Pitt State Track and Field previews its trip to the MIAA Outdoor Championships. Plus, a Labette County Grizzlies signs with the Missouri Southern Dance Team. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
This weekend, Pittsburg State Track and Field competes at the 2025 MIAA Outdoor Championships held at Emporia State, and the PSU men and women both enter as the #1 ranked team, not only in the conference, but the entire country.
When you're at Division II, you have to hit certain marks to get to nationals, so you're trying to chase weather, and so it's that balancing act of making sure that we get the marks we need, but also not to overdo it too early to where, you know, we start to fizzle out towards the end and when it matters. So we do a great job, and it is a balancing. There's no cookie cutter system. We just want to make sure mentally we're sharp and mentally that we're ready to go. Physically we're good, but it's the mental part of like making sure that you give them enough time off.
As we get towards the end of the school year, more and more of our local student athletes finalize their plans for the future, and today several high school seniors around Southeast Kansas hold signing ceremonies. This afternoon, 2 athletes from Girard High School signed to play their sport at the college level. Kaylin McAtee signs with Colby Community College for wrestling. In her senior year, she won the first individual state title in school history. And Isabel Shook signs as well. She's joining the rodeo team at Fort Scott Community College.
I don't want to say inspirational, but how determined the coach was. He has very high expectations for how his first year coaching the team is going to turn out, and I really like having high expectations. Yeah, I love Kansas. It's my favorite state, obviously. I'm really excited I'm able to stay within Kansas and not go out to somewhere like Iowa.
I chose Fort Scott because it's closer to home, closer if I need to go back or decide I want to go back. Rodeo was really the biggest reason I chose it, and they pursue in agriculture, which is what I'm interested in.
And at Labette County High School, Catherine Wilson signs with one of our local MIAA schools. She's headed to Missouri Southern to continue her dance career with the Lions.
Most thing that I'm excited about is probably starting my career. I'm planning on majoring in pre-dental I'm also committed to the Honors College at MSSU, so I feel like it'll definitely be a challenge that I'll be able to overcome.
And since it's a Wednesday night, that means it's time for another Diamond Deep Dive on the Cardinals and Royals, who each play today. We'll start with the Redbirds, who sweep a doubleheader over the Reds in Cincinnati. They win the first contest 6-0, while Mason Wynn hits 2 home runs. You just saw one of them. Then they take the second one by a final score of 9-1. Gordon Graceffo gets the win on the mound after throwing 5 innings, allowing just 2 hits out of the bullpen. And that has helped the Cardinals out a bit in the NL Central standings, along with the fact that the Cubs lose to the last place Pirates tonight. That helps everybody out who's chasing them down for the divisional crown. Today also improved St. Louis's road record to 3-12. Now, over in the American League, the Royals win today as well, 3-0 over the Rays. Their number 5 prospect, Noah Cameron, gets the win in his MLB debut. He throws 6 1/3 scoreless innings while allowing just 1 hit and striking out 3. And it's been a pretty good week for the Royals. Since last Wednesday, Kansas City has won 6 of its last 7 games, and with today's result, the Royals' record is now above 500 for the first time in 3 weeks. They're 3 games behind the Tigers for first place in the American League Central. That's it for sports. We're back right after this.
Although yesterday's storms may be over, remnants of trees and their branches are scattered throughout lawns. And local tree services in Joplin say they're getting double the amount of calls from forestaters. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, they're asking for patience.
I spoke to 2 tree services who says they are really busy trying to get things back in order, but they said all they need right now is a little time.
They're starting from about Miami, Oklahoma, all the way up to Springfield.
Brandon Bozak is the owner of Swartz Tree Service in Joplin. He says they're getting a lot of calls.
We got guys going right now from about 7 o'clock this morning, and we won't be done probably till around 8:30 tonight.
And he's not the only one. Anthony Brozak from Pacific Tree Services in Joplin says he's been busy also. He says some calls can take hours.
It depends. We've had some pretty big ones that took about all day. You know, sometimes we got to go rig from one tree to another and have it holding up pressure.
And both experts say another problem is dealing with insurance companies.
Try to schedule it out, but then you're like, wait, we can't do nothing until we see what the insurance is going to cover, so our customers aren't out as much money out of pocket.
Trees just fell in the yard and don't cause damage to their property. A lot of insurances, if you don't have the right insurance, they're not going to cover it.
And although you can't prevent every tree from falling, experts tell me there are some things you can do to reduce the risk.
Get your trees cleaned up before storm season, you know, that helps save your trees from falling down too.
Make sure you try to trim a tree and you thin out the middles of a lot of trees and stuff like that, just to allow the wind to get through and allow the wind to go around, so that way there your tree's not shaking as bad.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Swartz says although working with insurance companies can be a challenge, some storm damages could result in up to $10,000. Up next, Fandango joins us for a look at the most highly anticipated movies of summer. Stick around. The Marvel movie Thunderbolts is in theaters this Friday, kicking off a season full of highly anticipated movies. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Eric, can we say that summer movie season starts now? We have Thunderbolts, so tell me about this team.
Yeah, when you start the summer movie season, Marvel movie in early May, then yeah, it does start now. This is another really fun kind of reluctant team up movie from Marvel. They kind of come together when the Avengers are not available. There is a threat to New York City, and they have to figure out a way to kind of get along and save the day.
Fandango's 10 most anticipated summer movies, with more than 5,000 ticket buyers surveyed, has a few superheroes in the top 5.
Superman back on the big screen, directed and written by James Gunn. At number 3, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. At number 2, The Fantastic Four: First Steps.
At number 1 is Jurassic World: Rebirth.
This one takes us back to the island, back to the horror roots of the Jurassic franchise.
6 and 7 from the world of John Wick, Ballerina, and zombie thriller 28 Years Later. 2 adventures follow.
How to Train Your Dragon live action adaptation. It's thrilling, it's emotional. Lilo and Stitch, another live action version of an animated experience. I think this is going to be one of the bigger movies of the summer.
Rounding out the top 10, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan in Freakier Friday. I'm going to throw in an honorable mention for my fellow horror fans and my most anticipated movie of the summer.
I'll admit, there were some bugs in my programming.
Our bestie, Megan 2.0. So this is now a franchise as well.
In this one, Megan may actually be the hero of this film, because there is another sort of more dangerous robot that has to contend against Megan. If you're a horror fan, you're going to have a good summer.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of an endangered Messiah giraffe making his first appearance at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.